talk about her every now and then. And I don't like naming names, but I'll say hers again and again. Carrie Ann.
Good morning, Smarties. Hello, hello. Happy Thursday. We made it. It's Friday Eve. I feel like once we get over the Wednesday, it's just the rest of the week, we're coasting through. How's everyone doing this morning? I'm looking to see if YouTube's showing us live. And it is. Good. Good. Yeah, it is it's kind of rainy and crappy here in Massachusetts today. We had a good run. The last couple days have been beautiful. And I totally could have done a walking show yesterday. I thought about it. My therapist forced me to do a walking meeting, which like I get what you're doing, ma'am, tricking me into exercising because it helps your mind. I get it. There's a connection there. Well played. Thankfully, the walk doesn't cost extra. Phew. Oh, how's everything else going? Just checking everything out here, getting online. I have some note. I made some notes before the show because I had a brain dump. So I'm like, I have so many things to tell my Smarties. And I just like wrote it down in some show notes like 10 minutes before the show started. And one thing that you don't know about the show is like 5 minutes before the show starts, I take some screenshots of myself sitting here so that I can use them on the socials. Because if I try to do screenshots from the actual show, it's like this, which is funny. Okay. But I mean, sometimes it's a little blurry, so I try to recreate really good shots. I actually should do some laughing shots because I think I do that a lot. But I take some screenshots before the show and then I save them in my folder for when I need them because I like to personalize it. This is not a nameless show. All right. Hi, everyone. It's Carrie and Cormier. I'm your host here at The Carrie Show. And it's named The Carrie Show for everyone in my life who told me it wasn't The Carrie Show. It sure is. A little bit about me. I'm a financial services executive by trade, currently taking a much needed sabbatical from corporate life and using that time and space to focus on all the passion projects that have been in my heart and on my mind for quite some time. And one of them is Bank Smart Studio. So we have built this studio here on YouTube, and you can follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and we are talking about all the conversations that you're finding outside of the boardroom that are in the water cooler hallway talk that maybe your executives aren't thinking about. We are talking all the things, and this is not a scripted or polished webinar. This is not a boring sales pitch. This is talking and building out loud for all of you, which we love, right? Like banking needs more authenticity, and that's something that we talk about every single show. My background, as you know, is in retail and digital banking. And although that's where I've spent the majority of my career, I will tell you that my heart is in marketing and social media. And I bring that filter to just about anything that I do. And even from such a young age, I've always been interested in promoting and marketing and branding. And I love it. So I can't turn that off. So you're going to see that. I'm not going to talk about finance numbers here. Although if anyone wants to come on and do that, they're more than welcome to. It's not my forte. Risk ratios, the camel rating, like not my jam. But if you want to talk brand and strategy and how to polish up the customer member experience, we are all in. Okay. So we usually start off with a little bit of around the web, which is talking about news and events and hot takes that we see out on the internet. And these help inform what's going on in the industry around us and things local bank and credit unions are doing. And we just break it all down. So that's a little bit about us. Ready to roll? Today is the last day of April. It's April 30th. So let's check our calendar. That means it's the end of the first month of the second quarter. Okay, say that again. So April is the beginning of a new quarter, but we are at the last day of April. So we still have time to meet our quarterly goals. But how are we doing for the end of the month? If you're in a sales role, if you're in a commercial lending role, cash management, if you're in retail banking, it's goal time. Make sure, if anything else, okay, make sure you document in your CRM. Or if you're still old school and you have an Excel tracker, document, document, document. Okay, that's the most important part. Show your work. Do you remember that in math class where you would know the answer to the algebra problem? Because you could just like do some of it in your head, but they want you to show the work. Okay, so your boss may know that you're doing your sales stuff or you talk about doing your sales stuff, but it doesn't count if you don't log it. Okay, so wherever you need to log it, whoever you need to brag to today, make sure you get that in because it is the last day of the month and tomorrow it's gonna be May. Who hasn't been hearing that for the last 2 weeks? Right? Am I right? We do have goals here at the studio. Let me pull some up. So, because I am, like I told you, my background is in retail banking. I like have run scorecards. I have run sales programs. I have built them from the bottom up and I need to track numbers. Literally, even if we're like not doing anything sales related here, I need to like I'm craving number talk. So we're just going to talk a little bit about some studio stats. So this is the third full month that we've been doing the studio. Can you believe it? It feels like we have been doing this forever, and I am so emotionally dependent and attached on all of you. We're having a great time. And I feel so good because it helps me get out these ideas and share them of all the things going on in the industry that otherwise I would just be like looking at on my phone. But I love talking about it even more. And yesterday I went to breakfast with some old friends and colleagues, and one of them was talking a lot about work. And I'm just sitting there like, and he goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, I must be boring you." And I go, "No, I don't have any shop talk. Like, you're in it right now. Tell me all the things. What's going on?" I love me some shop talk. So, this is a great way to get that out. So, in 3 short months, we have almost 60 subscribers here on YouTube. Isn't that amazing? Like, I'm gonna be honest. I just thought the magic, like you go viral, like right away. Like I kind of thought we just go viral. But I realized that like most people build things for like 5 years and then it like magically happens. Cause you look at some other content creators out there and it's a lot of like hard work. And I'm just so lucky to have such a loyal following already going into this, that people that know me from the industry, from banking, from local like marketing stuff. I'm just like so appreciative and thank you all so much for like subscribing and following the channel and like most of all like watching and engaging. It's like I'm hanging out with my best friends every day. You smarties like lift me up. So I love that. Um, how long is it going to take to get to 100? Okay, so admittedly, there was a big jump between February and March from 16 subscribers to 52. There was a small jump from March to April from 52 to 59. Like, can we get to 100? How long is that going to take? If you're watching, when you're watching, be sure to like and subscribe. Send it to a friend. Even if you guys just want to gossip and talk crap and be like, "Hey, look what Carrie's doing. She doesn't have a life. She's just talking on the internet." It's okay. I'm cool with that. Facebook, we have 121 followers on Facebook. Instagram, we have 46 followers, and LinkedIn, we have 38. And I'm gonna tell you a little secret. There are some industry power players that watch this. And I know that. And most people like I don't know every single person that subscribes or follows depending on your privacy settings. So if you want to be a creep and you're like, I don't want her to know that I'm following, that's okay too. You can adjust your privacy settings and I won't know. But also, like, it's okay if you follow because that'll like be cool. And even if I know, it's fine. But there are some industry power players that I don't necessarily know because of their privacy settings, but they've told me. They're like, I love this. I follow you. I do see some that like watch my stories and watch my videos and comment. Love that. Love that. So like we're building something fun here and you all smarties are in at the ground floor. I will never forget the people that the three of you that watch my Instagram stories faithfully. When we have our first Smarty Bash, you have a VIP ticket. I also track how many streams I do and how many like other videos I post. And I've been consistent with my streams, but I haven't been posting other like smaller videos or shorts. So one of the goals that I have in the coming month is to do more shorts. And that does take a lot of time and energy. So all of you like bankers or brands out there that are like, oh my gosh, content is a full-time job. Yeah, it is. I understand some of you are like one-arm paper hangers in a marketing shop doing all the things. That takes a lot of work and energy. You're not only planning, you're designing, you're executing, you're uploading, you're scheduling, like bless you. Because that is not easy. And if I like had admins here at the studio, we would be like rocking and rolling. I was actually talking the other day with a friend and we were talking about like, is there like kids? We're saying the word kids, like we're not in that group, right? Are there kids out there that are looking for low marketing internship opportunities that would want to? Because all of us right now in the Finer Things Club, we have wild ideas. And these wild ideas are like growing and blooming from this like life change that we're all in. And it's so fun. And so I want to say something else, but I'm going to save it till later. No, I'll just say now. So it's interesting because like I'm in like this early 40s like group of like people, right? And we're all kind of on a journey right now and every journey looks a little different. I have some friends that are taking sabbaticals as well. They're focusing on startups or consulting and it's just like so fun. But like the people and the things that you meet and do is just so different than when you're consumed in everyday life. So then I have other friends who like still work, right? Like they're gainfully employed in a full-time gig. But I'm noticing that in this era of life, so many of us are revisiting like things that are really, really important, passion projects, lifelong hobbies, things that we've always loved to do. So for example, I have friends that in their 40s have started doing motocross again, like dirt bike racing. Like how cool is that? Like something that they've always done younger, but then you stop when you get married and you have a family and like life happens and now you're like 40 and you're like, "Yeah, I'm going to do motocross. I'm going to race my dirt bike on the weekends." Like how cool is that? And like why do we stop those things? And I take this very, very personally because I was a dancer. So I danced from like age 4 to age like 19, tap, ballet, point. I did some musical theater and I don't know if you guys can tell, um, but like it was such a big part of my life. And then all of a sudden, you stop high school, maybe your first year of college, you stop. Why? Like, this is something that you live every single day. Like, I would dance 3 days a week and be in shows and, like, why do you just stop? Like one day you're like, oh, I'm 18, I'm out of high school, my parents aren't paying for it anymore, I'm just gonna stop. What? That's crazy. So one of the things that I've started the last year is, guys, okay, be we're gonna tell a secret. I take dance lessons. So every week I take a hip hop class. And it is so cool because hip hop has never been my jam. I am like pretty much ballerina through and through. Um, but I've been doing hip hop and I have zero swagger, as you can imagine. But I've been doing adult hip hop and it is so fun. And then I take a second class which rotates and many varieties, jazz, tap, ballet, whatever, lyrical. But I'm really enjoying the hip hop and I was so inspired because my daughter last year took a hip hop class with this like completely badass Rhode Island choreographer, and she was so good. We called her Miss Gigi, and she was phenomenal. And the first day, like she's young, like 20, 21 maybe, and the first day of we bring them to class and the music is cranking and it's some like 90s early 2000s throwback, and I was just like picturing myself driving around in like my red Jeep, like, and I just like I wanted to go back to that moment and like think about how fun it was. So um it inspired me to sign up for some adult hip hop classes. So I did that for a little bit. Then I took a break and then one of my friends was like, "Hey, I was thinking about doing this. Do you want to do it with me?" And I was like, "Oh, do I ever?" So we started up again, probably December or January, and it's been so much fun. So like the point of this is like pursue your passion projects. Don't put them on hold. Like if you're an artist and you like doing watercolor or oil painting, just do it once in a while. If you like drawing, do it once in a while. Just because you become a grown up and you have a corporate job doesn't mean you have to stop like the fun. If you like dirt biking, go dirt bike. And if you want to see videos of me hip hop dancing, I'm happy to show you. It's copyright music, so we're not going to show it on the studio, but maybe I'll do a mashup. Or I can create my own dance in my drive. I was thinking about this. So we did a really good combination to No Diggity. And it's probably the only one we didn't record in class, and I wish we did, but I have a video of the instructor doing it. And so I'm like, if I follow it, like relearn it, and do a video of No Diggity in my driveway, I could put it to other music. Maybe I could do like a hip hop dance to the Carrie show music. I don't know. Again, I was talking with another friend in the Finer Things Club, and we were talking about like my intro music, and I'm like, yes, that is actually a song by Popular Genius. It's from like 2004. I am not the inspo, although I could be. But it's a really fun song, and it I found it one day. I was looking for songs named Carrie Ann, and that's very, very niche. But as you maybe know, if you're in the older generation, there's a song by the Hollies called Hey Carrie Ann or something like that. And that's a little more popular and would definitely get copyright stricken. But I was thinking that I could engage my friend AI to build me a song because there are other content creators out there that have done that and it's so good. But I need some like words on what my show is about and my vibe. So I have to sum it up and then give AI some like tools and tips on what to sing about. And I feel like it should be like a cool groove. And then we can do a dance to it. Which is a long way of saying we have goals here at the studio. Oh my gosh, that was a tangent. So some of my goals are to do some more shorts. They will not necessarily be me doing hip hop videos, but working on some short form content. Like I talked about last week, doing some more streams for my other audience. Oh my gosh, thank you guys for the hearts. I love it. Also, optimizing my videos for YouTube. So one of the things that I'm noticing about YouTube is I'm trying to stay on brand for like my my tiles, and branding people can appreciate this. You want to stay consistent and you want to have a thing. You don't just want to like be hodgepodgey. I feel like YouTube needs more of a fun collage of like what the topic is about each time. Less text. So I'm going to work on that. So you may see not just the Carrie face every time, but we may mix it up a little, make it a little more fun looking, which you guys aren't even going to notice. But as someone who hopes to be inspiring others to do YouTube channels for your bank, your credit union, or brand, these are just little tips to think about. How do you get your YouTube videos in front of more eyeballs? And when I write my descriptions, I always make sure to be thinking like SEO and discoverability, but you also want to, if it's just showing up in your feed, I have to say I would probably be more intrigued at a nice tile picture than I would the text, because I'm not reading the text. The robots are reading the text. So what I'm thinking is, and I didn't want to start it like in April, but I'm going to start in May, maybe changing up the tiles. So this is just, we're talking out loud, we're building out loud, and we're giving tips for you at your institution or your brand. Okay, we're gonna take a sip and cozy in and get real serious for a second. I did a thing. Okay, I teased this on my last show that we were going to be dropping some 5-minute rebrands. I did it. Okay, I quietly dropped the first one yesterday. So I'm going to put it, let me get the link. And I didn't tell anyone because I didn't want to do like a big launch. It's not that important for a big launch. And I didn't share it on any of my like forward-facing socials. I did quietly put it on my Instagram story. So I'm gonna 5. Dropping the link in the chat. You all are seeing it first, unless you're an insider and you follow BankSmart Carrie on Instagram. Then those 11 people that viewed the video, okay, maybe 10, because one of them was me, obviously. But 10 of you saw this yesterday, last night when I posted it. So that's for the insiders. So if you want to be an insider, follow me on Instagram at BankSmart Carrie. I did not post it on the studio page. I will probably post it on the studio page today, but you got an inside look and now you are seeing it live. So I did a 5-minute rebrand, and that is I am taking bank and credit union logos that are in dire need of a refresh and rebranding them in 5 minutes or less. So the first one I did was Community Service Credit Union in Texas. And you'll have to watch the video to see all about it. But I literally just happened to find this scrolling on Facebook. I screenshotted it and I was like, I'm going back to you because your logo needs a glow up. And so I am not a graphic designer, although I can play one on the internet. And I literally 5 minutes in Canva, because I can do Adobe, but that's going to take me a whole lot longer than 5 minutes. But and that it's out of my skill set right now. We're doing quick hits, and I rebranded them in 5 minutes or less, and I recorded it. So check out the video. You may like it. It is fun. And I'm going to do more of them. So if you have a bank or credit union that you'd like to nominate for a 5-minute rebrand, drop it in the chat, slide into my DMs, or there's going to be a lot of them. I've already gotten a couple like sent my way. If you want to be at the top of the list, you can Venmo me the name with a little coin, okay? And my Venmo is at BankSmart Carrie, okay? I'm just going to write this down here in the comments. And I'm just saying, a little coin will bring you to the top of the rebrand list. Now, remember, I'm not a professional. This is for entertainment purposes. But I will do it in 5 minutes or less, and we're going to try to post. We're not going to try. We are going to post a new video every week, shooting for Wednesdays, because that's like a good in-between between Tuesday show and Thursday show. We'll do a Wednesday show. So you do not have to Venmo me, but know that you will, your bank or credit union that you think is in need of a refresh. It doesn't have to be your institution. It could be another institution. It it may not be at the top of the list. We'll get to you when we get to you. There's plenty out there. Like I just took a couple looks and I screenshotted some that are really bad, and like most of them start with the word first, either with an F or a 1. There's only so many ways you can bundle that up. So we'll see. We'll see. But I thought that was fun, and I know you guys are going to love that too, especially my bank marketing peeps. Yeah. Yeah. So, as we get into like the meat of the content here, I have a confession. Remember the last show when I couldn't get into Claude and I was having like a mental breakdown? I wasn't actually logging into Claude. Okay, but you guys need to know this. This is very important. This is a public service announcement. Okay, I'm going to pull this up on the screen. So I need to preface this by saying I am never on a phishing report. I do not click the bad HR survey emails or the marketing put your t-shirt size emails here. I do not do that. Okay. Especially like when it comes in and it says, this is important letter from the CEO. I don't click on those. I'm better than that. I'm never on that report. I'm very security conscious. How I have once gotten caught. The QR code will forever be my downfall. I will always scan a good QR code where I see it, whether it's in the dressing room at Ann Taylor, whether it's a Super Bowl commercial, whether it's in the hallway of my institution or company. I'm going to scan the QR code. That's how you're going to get me. I may even start doing QR code t-shirts. It's going to be my downfall. Okay. But I'm always very internet savvy. However, I almost got scammed the other day. I mean, not scammed, but I got confused. So we're going to pull this up. Today, I start to log on to Claude, and I told you I could do it in Safari, but the problem was in Google. That was giving me the problem on the show. So I'm going to show you today. I'm like, well, maybe I'll want to, what if the moment hits me where I want to talk about Claude on the show? And I can't because I'm not logged in. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to show you what happened because this is important. So we're on Google, right? And I'm like, oh, I'm just going to type in Claude. What comes up first? ChatGPT. I know it's not that. Here we go. Claude, AI built chatbot app. Yeah, it says Claude. This is not Claude. This is not Claude. Okay. Okay, let's go back for a second. We're still in the sponsored results. You know what that means. That means they paid to be here. This is why it's important in some cases to pay for your own name. So you come up first. Banks or credit unions, you know this. So obviously ChatGPT is paying to be in the Claude search results. Okay, but also AI chatbot app is playing to be in the Claude search results. Claude is down here. Because when I got the real Claude, I was able to sign in really quickly, and it just gave me like, hey, we're sending a code to your phone. That would have taken me 2 seconds the other day. Right? Okay, so this is the real Claude. Okay, you see it's personalized. It says, hey there, Carrie. Okay, this is the fake one, the Claude AI built chatbot app. Now, it made me think, okay, your all-in-one AI assistant for chat. Oh my God, is there something out there that we could be aggregating our chatbots? Now, I don't know if this is real. So I go to Google and I go, is chatbot AI app legit? Okay. Based on user reports, the chatbot app, often found at chat.chatbotapp.ai or similar, is frequently flagged as scam or deceptive app designed to personalize or impersonate ChatGPT or OpenAI to trick people into paying expensive subscriptions. I didn't. I didn't pay an expensive subscription because I knew I was already subscribed. Okay? Beware. Now, I don't know if they're really like scammy or whatever, but that's what our AI is telling us. Maybe there's such thing as an AI aggregator that aggregates all your AI, and maybe this is legit and you can hook it up. Like kind of like your smart TV can aggregate all your apps on your TV, whether it's Hulu, it's Netflix, it's Disney Plus. That doesn't make it a scam. But beware. I almost got duped. So you'll all be happy to know that I do have, let's see, real Claude. We'll go down here, boop, boop, boop. Real one. So we can do Claude stuff. Okay? We can do more Claude stuff. But I had to confess because I was like, why is it taking so long for me to figure that out? It's not like me. I know, like I'm tech savvy. I picked the wrong one. Okay, sorry. But let that be a lesson. Make sure you're picking the right link. Okay. How's everyone doing? We have some around the web to talk about. But first, I want to shout out to the replay crew. Now, many of you are joining live, and if you're not, that's okay. We love our replay crew. It's we go live at 10 o'clock Eastern time, and I realized that like people on my side of the coast are working. And you can't always skip ALCO or compliance committee, although you should. Put an earbud in. Do what I did and sit in the back of the class with an earbud. Just kidding. Just kidding. For legal purposes, that's a joke. But if you are on the West Coast, what are you, 3 hours behind, 4 hours behind? World clock. So if you are in San Francisco, it's 7:30. This is your wake up show. You're doing this as you're drying your hair, putting on your makeup, getting ready for work, trimming your beard, shaping it all up. But if you're not live, that's okay. Join us in the gym later as you're doing the Stairmaster, or after you put your kids to bed and you need a chill out show where you can just zone out and maybe do the dishes and just listen to Make Smart Carrie. So we love our replay crew. And don't forget, you can still comment even if you're not live, and we go back and read all the comments because we love our replay crew. Right. Although I appear to be rather high energy today, I'm very tired. I can't help it. Okay, we have some developments. First, we're going to talk, we're going to talk about it. And if you're not from the Boston area, this is still interesting to you because it's signaling a shift. We've had shows where we talk about remote work and all of that. This one will be no different. Fidelity. We all know Fidelity. Now, there's many Fidelity banks and trusts across the country. We're not talking about that. We're talking about Fidelity Investments. They did a thing this week. They made a big announcement. All right. Does anyone know what it is? Yeah. They just announced that they're calling their employees back to the office 5 days a week. 5 days a week. And this is specifically is talking about Boston employees, but as well as employees that are in New Hampshire, Kentucky, New Mexico offices. All are expected to be returning to the full-time office work in September. I don't know how I feel about this. Okay, I'll tell you how I feel about this. It's crap. Like, okay, there's a difference between being a local bank or credit union and Fidelity Investments, okay? Like, if you're working for Fidelity, and I know plenty of people that do, a lot of them do live in the city, so the commute is probably negligible. Like, right, even if you're in like not in Boston proper, if you're like outside of the city, it's still a little bit of a commute, right? But I have other friends that are like outside of that. They could be an hour, 45 minutes. And if you're working for a big company like that, why do you need to be in 5 days a week? we're going to talk about it. So they're saying that they currently require employees to spend about 50% of the time in the office. And this 50% hybrid policy has been in place since probably fall of 2024. So this is like post-COVID. They've had some time to settle. Expecting people 50% of the time is not bad. Like, that's reasonable, especially with you're a big company. And like, think about like all the shift in commercial real estate and office space, how it went so empty. And places like Fidelity probably had large footprints like pre-COVID, and they are now looking for ways to fill that up. And now I don't necessarily think that's the reason that they're doing this, but it's something to think about. Like, what do places like this do with their real estate? And now, this was published in Boston Business Journal. So I'm going to read a little bit from this. They said that Wednesday, all their employees will be expected to return full-time to the office in September. Only customer-faced, phone-based roles will not be in the office full-time. Those employees will be in the office for 1 week on a 4-week rotation, which seems reasonable. Like, if you're in a call center, what's the point of commuting into the office to be on the phone and have very strict like on phone times if you're just sitting in a big phone bank? Like, I get that. So I'm glad that they didn't make a stupid move and make everyone come in just to be on the phone. But think about it. That's probably what a lot of their other team is. Like, those kind of strategy teams and planning teams, marketing teams, investment teams, whatever, a lot of those meetings are on the phone with colleagues. So now you're like, especially if you're like a large company like this that have offices, you might have colleagues or direct reports or bosses in different time zones. So for you to say you have to be in the office in Boston to talk to someone in New Mexico, why can't you just do that at home? But they're saying that the return to office mandate is to increase in-person connections, mentorship, and learning, which the spokesperson says is central to their long-term success. Let me see if there's any other like good. It talks about that this is a growing trend in finance and banking, where JP Morgan, which is consolidating area offices into its new Boston headquarters, announced this in March of 25 as well. So it seems to be a trend for some of these big players. They do have the space for it, but here's what we're going to talk about. I'm reading the takes on Twitter X. People are already chatting, and now these are people outside of the industry. So, for example, I saw someone, this one I really liked, retweeted it. So the headline from NBC News 10 Boston was Fidelity is stepping up its return to work policy, calling all of its Boston employees back to the office 5 days a week. And so someone tweeted it. In other words, age discrimination? And someone writes, how so? Nobody under the age of 35 is going to want to come into work. I don't disagree. A lot of the people that I know at Fidelity, they're fresh out of college. They've gone to BC, BU, Northeastern, and they like, oh, this is my first job out of college. I'm going to work at Fidelity. And they're great. They live in the city, whatever. But as they like get a little older, have families, maybe want to buy a house, and maybe they start to move suburbs, have different priorities. Maybe they want to take a hip hop class during the day or in the afternoon, like make their own schedule. They're not going to want to be in the office 5 days a week. So they're really like, making a statement, I'm going to say, about their workforce. And now that's not to mean anyone who's 40 or 50 wants to go to the office. Like, I'm telling you, people say like, oh, well, young people don't want to go to the office. Old people do. No, older people don't. They're still good at technology. They don't want to go to the office either. We've talked about this. I love in-office work, but that doesn't mean that that's right for everyone. And that's what I want every single day. I have strong opinions about being in the office. It's important to me for visibility and all of that. And I actually was talking about that at the Finer Things Club the other day. The downfall of what happens when you're not visible, because seeing is believing. But I think this is the signal of a much larger thing. Okay. There's speculation. And now it's interesting because in the Boston Business Journal, the spokesperson for Fidelity specifically says Fidelity plans to continue to hire. Why would you say that? Was anyone, it didn't say we asked Fidelity. It just says Fidelity says they plan on continuing to hire. Now there's speculation that this is their way of getting rid of some dead weight before layoffs. Can you say dead weight? I think the speculation I read said dead wood. Is that better? Dead wood? Like, okay, sorry. I'm trying to be progressive. Getting rid of some dead wood before layoff. So is this way of they're thinning out the herd so that they don't have to lay off as much people or lay off specific talent groups, whatever? Could this be happening? Now there's some speculation. This has not been substantiated. This is internet gossip, but that's why we're here, because these are real trends that we need to talk about. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. There isn't really much more on that. I have to say, like, if I were, let me just put this into perspective. If I are me at age 41 and I'm working at Fidelity and I'm like an hour and a half away with traffic. So we'll say in rush hour, I'm an hour and a half away. Would I commute to the office 5 days a week? No, absolutely not. They'd have to be paying me a ton of cash, like double my salary. And I still don't know if that would be enough. Because that's draining. I am lucky to live on the commuter rail line. So let's say it took 2 hours to take the commuter rail, and I wouldn't have to drive and I could multitask and maybe start my day on the commuter rail. I don't hate that. I would probably do that if I had to. But I would value having my time over my job and money. So I think a lot of employees are going to do some self-reflection, and we may see some people opt out, and they may not opt out right away, but as they continue to implement this and maybe look for a new spot, let's see if there's any interesting other tidbits. Yeah, I don't buy that this is critical to their long-term success. Something else is there, but that's just rumor mongering. Okay, another interesting thing, and this is very regionalized. This is New England talking, but it's important. There's, again, a larger picture here. This was in Banker and Tradesman this week, and I might pull this one up on the screen because I want to talk about it. Do you want articles in the chat? Here, I'll put Boston Business Journal. I never put, I want to do a show notes, but again, that's more work. We're going to put the links in the show notes. We're going to call this the show notes today. We're not going to give them the UTM code. Don't give them that satisfaction. Okay. So there's the Boston Business Journal one about Fidelity. And then this one's the one, if you want to follow along, this one's from Banker and Tradesman. And we're going to talk about Massachusetts banks and their move to Rhode Island. All right, so let's pull this up on the screen. Boop, stop, boop, share screen, boop. And yes, I could talk about it without sharing the screen, but I'm very visual and I want you guys to see what I'm seeing. Do I want to do this? Yeah, because you like more me. Clip that one. I'm interested. Where is everyone tuning in from today? I always love seeing people from across the country. We do have like a consolidated group here in Massachusetts because that's where I'm from. I'm about 45 minutes to an hour west of Boston, and this is where I've grown up, and this is where my um, main colleagues are. But I have so many friends and connections and industry peers across the country, and I love that. So some of the stuff I talk about is very regionalized, but this is going to translate to things that are happening all over the US. So we're going to talk about, so the topic is Rhode Island, the next frontier for mass bank competition. So it goes in to talk about Massachusetts banks are looking for additional deposits, and Rhode Island has become an opportune place to look. Interestingly, the number of Massachusetts banks in the state owned by the state of Massachusetts. So, I'm not saying that right. They're not owned by the state of Massachusetts. So, in 2020, there were 20 banks headquartered and chartered in Massachusetts that had Rhode Island branches. 20. 6 years later, there is 51 banks that are chartered in Massachusetts, headquartered in Massachusetts, that have a presence in Rhode Island. Okay, that's more than double. What is that telling us? So a lot of this is, the article goes on to talk about how different examples of places for example, Bristol County Savings Bank has moved into Rhode Island. They're right on the line. A lot of them are in the South Shore area, like Fall River, that kind of spot. Makes sense, right? Because sometimes you have to go through Rhode Island to get back to Massachusetts, depending on where you're going, unless you want to go the long way. So I get it. It's very, very close. It talks about Eastern Bank, how it's moved down there with its acquisition of Harbor One. But the question is why, right? Okay. I have some thoughts. I've made some notes before I started because I'm I want to remember to talk about these things. So it's not because Rhode Island is some booming economic powerhouse, right? It's very small. It's a very small state, a slower growth market, but it has two things these banks care a lot about. Okay, do you know what that is? One, high concentration. I don't want to. Okay, I was going to say something different. High concentration of small businesses. So, and the deposit market for those is heavily dominated by the large national players. Bank of America, TD, Citizens. What was the other one in here? There was another one in here. It talked about that I didn't realize was in this area. Is it going to say it in the article? I thought it did. Oh, okay. Yeah, Bristol County's Taunton. Washington Trust. So, according to the FDIC data, large national players and recently merged institutions such as Citizens Bank, Bank of America, Washington Trust, and Santander make 74.9% of total deposits in Rhode Island. So now, if you're a small business owner in Rhode Island and those end up being your bank, they may not be the bank for you. Okay, so banks are licking their chops to get into Rhode Island because they feel like they can eat the lunch of these larger players, and they're not wrong. Okay. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. The Smarty hotline's lighting up. Okay, we got to turn it over. I'm getting distracted. Yes, we will talk about that. Okay. Okay. So it makes it really attractive for these community and regional banks to join because one, there's a high concentration of small business, and two, it's heavily dominated by those larger players. So what you're seeing is a mix of strategies on getting into this market. Some banks are expanding organically with new branches. In the article, it talks about Bristol County has gone in there. There's a couple other ones. Bank 5. Let's see. Bank 5, Eastern. Did Bank 5 open up a new branch down there? Okay, yeah, okay. So Massachusetts banks with Rhode Island footprints. Beacon Bank with 22 branches, Bay Coast with 8 branches, Bank 5 with 2, and Milford Federal Bank with 1. We're going to get back to you, Milford Federal. Okay. So some banks are entering organically with new branches. Others are expanding through acquisitions, like we talked about. Most are leaning into the fact that if they really want to compete in Rhode Island, they need to be physically present and embedded in that community. So all while this is happening, there's a consolidation, which is creating a bit of disruption in the market, and that opens the door even wider for new entrants to come in. So let's see an example. If places are being taken over or moving, although that might all be good news for that bank or that community, we know that anytime there's kind of like friction or merger and acquisition, that can cause some disruption, and it could be a reason for people to move. Like, oh, I just changed my online banking. I don't like it anymore. It's awful. Ever since this place took over, this has been crap. You know what I'm talking about, right? Like, you've heard this. This makes sense. But I'm calling this manifest destiny. We're moving into the market. Rhode Island isn't a random expansion play. Okay. It seems random. It's a signal. Okay. Massachusetts banks aren't just growing. They're running out of room and looking for deposits anywhere they can find them. So for the last couple years or so, we're just talking New England here. I've seen this trend in the credit union world where everyone's looking at New Hampshire. New Hampshire's been like, oh my gosh, I'm chartering new territory. I want to cross the state line into New Hampshire. And now credit unions are a little different because in order to do that, you'd have to like expand your charter, or you'd have to merge with someone that has that charter already in New Hampshire, because you're restricted by your field of membership rules. If you have a field of membership and that involves certain counties in Massachusetts, you can't just say you want to hop into another county or into another state, cross state lines. You have to expand your field of membership, and usually that involves changes to your charter. So while I've been seeing that in the credit union world, most of the banking world has been moving east. They want the Boston market. They want a presence over there. Everyone wanted to be in Eastern Massachusetts and in Boston. Manifest destiny. We're going east. Okay, now they've gobbled, like, it is so saturated here that they're now licking their chops and running out of room, and they're hungry. They need deposits. We were talking about this at the Finer Things Club. Core deposits, core deposits, core deposits. Okay, anywhere you can find them. So now banks are starting to look at Rhode Island. It's a small state, big opportunity, which is what it says in the article. This is code for the market is underserved or misserved. Okay, when 75% of deposits are controlled by a large bank, that's not competition. That's a gap. That is a gap. Okay, because it is likely the result of years and years of legacy mergers, and like this one takes over this one, and all of a sudden you've ended up with Bank of America. And that might not be serving that community the way that it should. So community banks smell blood in the water. They're sharks circling. Okay? They're sniffing out Rhode Island. Like they're going to grab some chum. Is that the right phrase? I'm not like good. South Shore is good to use some fisherman phrases. I hope I used that right. But here's my question. Milford Federal. Okay. We talked about them. Remember they were that like super old bank, like 130 something years, whatever, that talked about like how their friendliness like thwarted a bank robber. And they have like 3 branches. Okay. So let's say Milford Federal Bank. Okay. Or was that Millbury Savings? I don't know. Anyway, Milford Federal's not that big. Let's look at them. I think that was Millbury Savings. I'm getting my, okay. So this place has literally 1, 2, 3, 4 branches, a 5 if you count the high school one. Okay. So out of your 4 branches, you have main office in Milford, Medway Road in Milford, Whitensville, which is east nowhere, south nowhere, west nowhere, and then Woonsocket, Rhode Island, and then a Milford High School branch. Okay. Tell me why you'd want to put a branch in Rhode Island if you're Milford Federal. Does that make them ripe for M&A? Are you burying the costs to get acquired? Are you testing the market, establishing a new base? Do you plan on merging with someone in Rhode Island and this is like the hop skip? All right, to connect the thread. I don't know how long their Rhode Island branch has been open, but that's not like by luck. That doesn't just happen. You don't just say, oh, hey, I'm in Massachusetts in Milford and I'm going to open up a branch in Rhode Island. Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, no. It looks like we have some trolls in the chat. We're going to ban that user. You don't own me, okay? I'm not a hoe. Thank you for saying that. That was really nice of you. Okay, then, LOL0. We banned you. Yeah, I mean, pity views are still views. Hate views are still views. Bot views are still views. Okay, but we don't want to ruin the magic we have here. Okay, switching back. So, is anyone with me? Like, does that not seem a little strange? And like, it's not a bad strategy, but like, there's no other reason unless maybe they acquired a failing place over there and they just like gobbled it up and then, hey, we had the opportunity. Why not buy a Woonsocket branch? But I think it's really, really interesting that we're starting to see this move towards Rhode Island because like I remember just being in community banking in Massachusetts for so long. So I'm in the Central Mass Metro West region. And we stayed out of like Worcester and Boston for so long because it was so oversaturated. And like to put a new location in either one of those towns was ridiculously expensive and the payoff was low. You'd have to do a couple branches in Worcester just to even make a presence. And now don't come at me, digital people, all right? Because I'm showing you places will drop, even if it's just for billboard purposes, 3 branches in Worcester. Same with Boston, right? Some places were putting branches in Boston just to say that they had a Boston presence. Some were just renting an office space just to say they had a Boston headquarters. At one point, we were talking about that because we had a large international payments business line, and we had a lot of clients coming in from different countries or different parts of the US. And instead of saying, hey, do you want to meet us 45 minutes west of Boston and Uber out? We talked about having just like an office space or a floor where we could meet clients and host things and say we had a Boston location. That didn't happen. But it's definitely a strategy where some people are just saying that they're doing these things. It wouldn't be like deposit gathering, but it could be like testing a business development hub out there. And, maybe that's something we're going to start to see with Rhode Island, where places in Massachusetts are going to not necessarily just open branches, but they could start by testing with business development hubs. So that is your hot thing to watch, right? Cool. Let's take a second before we wrap up to shout out to our sponsor. So I have a little sponsor page right here. We're going to add it up here. Do I make it bigger? Yeah. I want to say thank you to our friends at Regional Home Care, one of our premier sponsors here at the studio. They are New England's local sleep, respiratory, and diabetes service supply company. And you can find them at regionalhc.com. For all your supplies. So like I've told you, I am a CPAP client, and I get all my supplies from Regional Home Care. They're just so good to me, and they are based in New England but do ship all over the US. So check them out. They do sometimes. I'm trying to score you guys a promo code, okay? But they sometimes offer promo codes. I do not have my own, but I do want you to know that I know that bankers, we don't take care of ourselves sometimes, or we're tired a lot, and it could be the result of sleep apnea. And if we need supplies, we want them on the cheap. We want good quality for a good price. So we do not have a promo code, but I encourage you to check them out. And thank you so much for being a friend of the studio. I really appreciate it. That pretty much wraps up our stuff for today. The Smarty Hotline's going off. I do want to take a quick poll. So after show, what am I doing? I need help picking what I'm doing for the day. My options are, because I'm like really tired, and I don't know if you can tell. I noticed on my last show I felt really tired because I was like sitting like this most of the time. And then of course I see a Instagram reel where they talk about that the distance between your chin and your chest display your level of confidence, and that by exuding more space here, you're appearing more confident and like centered. And so I said to myself, Carrie, you weren't doing that on the studio. You were like, and so I get how that comes off, but I was just really cozy, and I love that. And I felt really cozy today, and I'm a little tired. So I'm trying to think of what to do after we log off. So options are: 1, nap. You can drop this in the chat with you vote if you want to vote. I could use a nap. I will probably sleep for a good 3 hours. 2, go thrifting. Just, grab a drink, go for a little drive. There's some thrift stores that are open just on Thursdays. We could hit them this afternoon. That would be fun. It would give me a little bit of fresh air. It's not a great day to go driving, but like it would be fine. Work on content. That's number 3. I could actually like work on the studio and do some of the things that I'm talking about. Or 4, I could organize my house. I have my cleaners here Tuesday, and they come every 2 weeks to like clean my house, but they just like clean. They're not like organizing. So I need to like organize some spaces and get rid of some totes and boxes and stuff, and like fold Little C's clothes because they're just like expanding everywhere. So that's option 4. So nap, thrifting, content, or organize the house. If you have thoughts, drop them in the chat. I'm leaning towards the nap. Or we could do a combo, a hybrid nap/thrifting. Maybe a little thrift and then a nap. Maybe a nap and then some thrift. I just want to bring you all along for the ride here at the studio, what we're thinking about. Okay, everyone, thank you so much for joining. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. We really appreciate it. And stay social because there's always something new coming out. And you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, a little bit of TikTok, of course, Twitter X. You can find us at Bank Smart Studio or at Bank Smart Carrie. And the best is still yet to come, Smarties. Thanks for hanging in there. Stay social.
Wait, where did she go? Why is this still on? Bye-bye. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel.